GoldenEye or Perfect Dark, which is better?
Oh, it's so hard, but GoldenEye. But that's unfair.
GoldenEye.
That's unfair because my household is a James Bond household, and I would be strung up by the rafters if I didn't say GoldenEye because just James Bond.
But I mean that's going to lead me to my next question: is GoldenEye the preferred winner just because of pure nostalgia?
Yes, I think so.
Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of everyone's favorite podcast, the Critical Arcade Podcast. I'm your co-host, Nick.
And I'm Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Hello, Nick, you well?
Yes, you played on the actual N64 back in the day, right?
Wow, it's like tell me how old you are without telling me how old you are, right? Yes, I am old enough to have originally played on the N4 and Nintendo 64 when I was a kid and as an adult, and now by all accounts.
I don't think that I'm young enough to have not maybe had the opportunity to play on an N64, but wow, I did kind of grow. But I grew up in a bit of a conservative household / community, so there weren't any N64s around. But in your case, but that's not the case for you, right?
No, everyone had them. The vicar, the nurses, the doctors. We were just flooded with N64s. But yes, I do get your reference. Yes, in Europe we had, of course, plenitude of Nintendo 64s. And yes, I was able to. My family was capable to buy me one for one of my birthdays, I believe. And yes, all my friends had one. It was at school, everybody talking about Mario 64 and Pokemon Snap and Stadium and all the other things that came out for the console.
And you played on your N64. You were just a part of the playground conversation.
Kind of. Okay, when you've heard of Pokemon Stadium when that came out, right? And everybody was talking about it because it was like 3D Pokemon and you battle like Ash and all the other things, right?
Yeah, and you're in a stadium.
I bought that game because of the popularity with everyone in the schoolyard, and I couldn't have been more bored. I thought that game was so boring. I was like, why are people enjoying this when all your Pokemon are all the same level? There's no aspect of like training them, and you're just like, my Gengar versus your Rattata. I remember just being at school going, yeah, it's really great, right, guys? And they're like, I don't know, I don't understand that, but I do. I bought that game just due to like peer pressure and popularity, like fishing.
It's happened to all of us.
Yeah.
It's happened to all of us. The same thing happened to me with Ark Survival Evolved. That game sucks.
Yeah, that's true. It's got a very hit and miss kind of fan base as well.
But I bought it because my friends bought it.
And it's kind of a hardcore online game, that, right? By all accounts, isn't it kind of like?
Oh yeah, it gets hardcore. It gets competitive. Yeah. I'm glad I'm not playing Ark Survival Evolved.
Is it still going? I'm guessing it is. That's the one with someone riding a dragon on the not dragon dinosaur.
Oh yeah, no, it's gotten way past the point of just having dinosaurs. It's something completely different now. But anyway.
Yes, I did have. There were many Nintendo 64s on my street. Everybody had one. We were so just flexing all the time.
So there's a good chance you've encountered this week's game back in the day.
Funny or not, no. I should have done. I know. I was shocked. I did not know of Perfect Dark. I knew, of course, of GoldenEye and Pokemon and Star Fox and all the other things.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this box on the shelves in like our local GameStop or Electronics Boutique and stuff like that. But no, I never picked up this game. I never played it, which is crazy because it is actually super popular. I missed that one on the old radar.
Yeah, it is. It is. Not as popular as I think it should be. But true, yes, it is super popular. How about, okay, ladies and gents, this week's game is the 2000 release on the Nintendo 64, Perfect Dark. I think is an excellent name for a game. But does the actual game hold up?
I just realised I know why the dark, but why is it perfect? So I'm just literally looking at perfect dark, and I understand the dark.
What do you
part.
mean?
I'm
That's
like,
an adjective. That's an adjective for the spy, the secret agent. You're Joanna Dark, and she's so good at what she does. She's perfect. She's top of the class. She aced every exam. She's perfect. She's perfect Dark.
I think you could be right. Like I said, in my playthrough, not so perfect by any extent of the words. But I do get it because her narrative is she's like the perfect agent,
That's
like
the narrative.
A female James Bond, right?
Exactly. That's the narrative that she's perfect Dark, which actually is made me immediately think, if she's so perfect,
yes,
why is this game living in the shadow of GoldenEye?
Oh, it really was, or is still to this day. By
it still is. It still is.
Yeah. Well, it's a weird thing you say that, because it was developed by the same company, right?
Yes.
Rare.
Yes.
Right. Rare, British company,
Yes.
which I loved stand the colours, you know, good old British game, and make it. I didn't know they also did Banjo-Kazooie, Battletoads, Donkey Kong, Conker's Bad Fur Day, which I know.
I think they did Diddy Kong's Racing too.
Oh really? And the latest one they've even had a hand in was like the Sea of Thieves thing, which I think that was an online game, right? Like MMO.
Yes.
And I was just looking through the history of this game, and it won a BAFTA. I love the name of the award though. It's a BAFTA, British Academy FTA.
For the arts.
I can't. Yeah, for the arts. That would do it. And I love the award name. It wasn't like Best Picture Direction. In 2000, it won the award for Moving Images. Like, moving images was a category in the BAFTAs. Like,
moving images. Moving images.
Yeah, that JPEG went from left to right.
That's
accolades.
It won moving. That's literally where the name movie comes from.
Yes,
and it won all other
award.
Movies in the year 2000.
Yes, I don't understand. This is probably in the gaming category, because BAFTAs did have a gaming category, I believe. It also won Golden Satellites Award for Best Interactive Product, which is, again, a very vague kind of award. Like,
it is, but this was kind of when video games were still trying to find its feet in society.
Yes,
even society was looking at this weird new thing, going, what am I supposed to do with you? What is this? Okay, a moving picture, I guess.
It's the best moving picture. Don't just call it a moving picture. It's the best one. But
so what? Okay, David.
Yes.
You tell me right now, GoldenEye or Perfect Dark? Perfect Dark, which is better?
Oh, it's so hard, but GoldenEye. But that's unfair.
GoldenEye.
That's unfair, because my household is a James Bond household, and I would be strung up by the rafters if I didn't say GoldenEye, because just.
But
James
I mean
Bond.
that's going to lead me to my next question: is GoldenEye the preferred winner just because of pure nostalgia?
Yes, I think so. And I'd argue, oh no, yeah, it could be just nostalgia and how cool it is, and everyone's kid's dream to, you know, I want to be James Bond, I want to be a secret agent, that just builds into that whole, I get to be a secret agent thing, which this game does as well, but I don't know.
Exactly. Not only are you a super secret agent, but you're a super secret agent in the future.
Yeah, when you say the future, 2023, which was hilarious. This is set in 2023, which is just such a great throwback.
It is. Ladies and gents, this game takes place in the far, far future of 2023.
Whoa.
Cars
and it is
can
a futuristic
fly.
game. Oh.
Other stuff. Future things.
Yeah, we went backwards compared to how they saw 2023 by all accounts. We really did.
Yeah.
And this game had a marketing budget of $10 million. And I can't say I remember $10 million back in, like, when did this come out? Like 2000.
2000.
Something like that. When did it come out? Like $10 million for a marketing budget. That's big money. That is a lot of cash to throw at just marketing a Nintendo 64 game. And this of course has had a bit of drama recently. It was set to come back, wasn't it, for the newest consoles, and then funding got cut, or it was fake, or something like that. It does have kind of like a remaster for the Xbox 360, which is
But that was
which
16
was
years
a
ago.
game. Don't say that. Don't say it was 16 years ago. It was like
sorry.
16 years ago, which was kind of it was a game released with the console as like a bundle, like you used to get that.
Yeah,
and,
no, I get it.
Whatever other game on the console, I forget.
Don't you think it's interesting? At the same time, we would get brand new entries, kind of rebooting the franchises for both Perfect Dark and 007.
Yes, that's. Oh God, it's just the nostalgia, like you said. It's the nostalgia of it all.
It is, and the one that's lived in the shadow of 007 for so long gets booted. That's the one that gets kicked, while 007 gets the royal treatment.
Which is kind of, again, it's kind of weird where it comes from, right? Because again,
I think it's kind of poetic.
Yeah, but it's like you're now a sexy protagonist, which is fairly popular. It's slowly building a little bit of the momentum now with what Stellar Blade and name other sexy protagonists that I can't name.
Final Fantasy 16, Expedition 33, Alan Wake 2.
There you go. So sexiness is coming back in gaming.
Yes.
Right? Sexiness is coming back. It's still kind of surprising they dropped it though, because you saw the trailer, right, in regards to it. It looked great. I would have loved to have played that game.
Yeah.
Now, granted, lots of people say, yeah, it was too fake. It was too good by all accounts. But yeah, it's a strange thing that GoldenEye does just get the red carpet all the time. And it really, not just GoldenEye, James Bond franchise gets the red carpet all the time. And this game, it was kind of a big thing. This was one of the first games for the Nintendo 64 that required the expansion pack. Did you know that came with the Nintendo 64? The extended memory?
So, I read about that this week for the first time. I didn't have that much exposure to the N64 as a kid, like I said before. So, doing research for this was kind of the first time where I read about the expansion pack. And it's just a little plastic addition to your console that doubles the memory.
Did you see how much it doubles it too?
You can go from 4 megabytes
to
8 megabytes.
Whoa! 8 megabytes of dedicated RAM for your processing?
Yeah.
Gives you tingles,
now
right?
we're gaming.
That's right. Double the capacity, baby. It's so fun to see it because I remember those packs and I remember those coming with games and putting it in. And it's still sought after right now. If you buy a Nintendo 64... People are always aim for the one that's got the expansion pack or that comes bundled with it because they don't want it because it actually does play a big difference in the games you can play, like frame rates, loading, all of it actually makes.
Well, I can imagine it's doubling your RAM. You can play, what was it, Donkey Kong Country? No.
Yeah, there was a few. There was a Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong,
and it also helped with. It helped with the transfer from Game Boy to the certain games as well, which was also
Majora's Mask, I think.
Yes, a Zelda game was part of it, right? I do think I remember that too. And it's so nostalgic just seeing that big chunky red thing you'd shove into the freaking Nintendo 64. It's so like archaic now, but I loved that back in the day. And I loved it. I loved seeing it again, like an old friend.
I miss when games used to use cheap plastic.
Yes, I know what you mean.
I miss the cheap plastic, right?
I do.
Right now, as an adult, if I just squeeze and twist it hard enough, it will break.
Yes,
PlayStation 5.
Things. Yeah.
No, that's some premium hard ass plastic. You can't break that. And sure, it's fine. It's premium. It's great. I love it. It's not breaking. But I miss cheap plastic.
Oh, I love the Sega Mega Drive like cartridges and the NES cartridges and stuff like that. They're like you said, they're like the Nokia 3310s, right? You could throw those at people and then put them back into your freaking console. It'll work fine. I love those things.
Okay, so let's get into the narrative.
Okay, the narrative again. What's one of the things this game, as you said, GoldenEye follows. The game itself follows the movie, right? I haven't watched the movie in years. This game has its own unique story, which goes from perfectly kind of like a normal spy thing, and then just goes completely freaking off the freaking charts with just crazy shit.
Balls to the wall, sci-fi, capital sci-fi.
Yeah, I loved it so much. And ladies and gents, you are set in the future of 2023. You play Joanna Dark, a top trainee turned agent of the Carrington Institute, which is very James Bond already. Sounds James Bond. Up against the organization of Datadyne, which is again like a toothpaste. And at first, you're just doing normal espionage missions. You're just uncovering shady deals and hacking computers.
Yep.
And then, and I'll give you do not see it coming. Aliens. Then just aliens.
Aliens. Aliens. It turns out Carrington Institute has aliens. And Datadyne has aliens.
Aliens. It's such a great, insane scenario that you get to play out just in regards to what in the hell is going on.
Yes.
And it reminds me of the old 90s TV programs like X-Files and stuff like that. It starts off as such a normal thing. And then you meet Elvis, the grey alien, which is just this cool little alien guy that you work with that talks to you and he's like your companion. And then you got what they call the Skedar, I don't know.
The Skeeter, cousin Skeeter.
Oh, that's it. Because but it's so wacky. It's so good at the beginning.
Yes,
and gets
but this
so
was in
mad.
the year this was before the cringiness and wackiness of stories like these turned kitsch. At this point,
I got you. That's it.
This was still very much good.
This was great. I'm sorry, I played this game. We all play all these latest games and all the deep drama and Expedition 33 and the sadness and all the emotion. Oh my god, it's been a long time where a game has just made me smile because it was just like, what? You start off as an agent, the next thing you save the world and another planet gets blown up and you're just like, whoa! What the...
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved every part of this plot. The plot is dumb. The plot is insane. The plot has
that's
massive...
kind of course it's dumb.
It is.
They're not. I don't think they were set out to make a deep, interesting plot that would kind of that you'd think about when months after putting the game down. No, I think they knew what they were doing.
I miss that era of gaming. Where I just miss the idea that you just be playing a game and you're just doing this, and then all of a sudden you're in a submarine, and then for some reason the submarine has an alien on it, and the next reason the alien's talking to you, and you're going to another planet, and you're in a spaceship, and humanity, it's like you're just like, whoa, this woman in this game handles just any. She is a well-trained agent. She can handle any circumstance. Aliens, spaceships, travel, light space travel. She's just very down to do anything. Oh, yes, it's so funny. I love this.
She immediately comprehends and accepts the situation she's in. I'd have a mental breakdown if I'm being shot at. This lady, no, she's on another planet doing the shooting on the aliens.
And the aliens, just like the Skedar being the big, like the bad guys who you presume are just like the standard James Bond-esque villains, but they're actually an alien in society and they're hiding amongst us, the lizard people and stuff. It's so cheesy, so bad, so just like, but so good.
So good. They took that idea of lizard people being among us.
Yes,
and made
it's a classic, right? And even the grey alien, the stereotypical X-Files normal grey alien that everybody knows, the grey alien, the Roswell one.
Oh, come on.
It's again, I don't want to give out too much because again, if I told you the actual plot of this game, you wouldn't believe me because it doesn't actually fundamentally hold much weight and it sounds like the meanderings of like a 12-year-old. But that's why it's so good. Sexy
I think
agent,
so too.
aliens,
I think so
explosions.
Too. If you really start to think about it, but the plot for GoldenEye doesn't make much more sense.
No, it's true.
You're a single man in a tuxedo, mowing down armies.
That's all you need. That's your James Bond. You got a
license. Yes, but that doesn't make any more sense, and it doesn't need to.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. We missed that era where you didn't have to actually put all the things together, and it had to mean something. Again, the narrative of this was just fantastic. Granted, I often wonder. I always play these games and I smile and I enjoy it, but I'm in my 30s. I really like to know if teenagers can pick this game up and say this is great. I want to know if teenagers are out there that can pick this up and say, wow, this is one of the greatest.
I'd love to think that would be the case, although I don't think it is. I don't think
say it. Say it's not so.
I don't think anyone playing this game today is going to agree that this aged well.
Oh, which is just sad because I've literally written down this aged well in my writing.
You did.
I did because games are supposed to be fun. I had fun. I had a great time. The story
That's a very
was
good
mental.
point. That's a good point. I'm not trying to disagree with you having fun. I'm gonna stick to my guns. This game did not age well.
Ah, that's just absolute nonsense.
We can get into that. I'm assuming that's in gameplay.
Yes, by all means.
Of course,
anything else narratively, right? There's not really much else. You just need to play it. You need to play it to actually experience the narrative of this game.
Watch a breakdown of the plot. It's good. Okay, visuals.
What do you think of the visuals? Yeah.
I think that this game is technically impressive, especially with its character models and some of the environments. I think it's good,
Yes,
and you can clearly see why the Nintendo 64 needed to have the expansion pack attached for you to be able to play the single player of this game. It's immediately obvious if you can compare it to what other games look like on the N64.
Yes.
This is clearly above all the rest.
Oh no, agreed. It's a full screen of just stuff going on, doors opening, people running, helicopters floating by windows and stuff. It is actually kind of quite a display of visual prowess for the N64 at the time. And you're doing things whilst this is being displayed, not cutscenes.
I can't really think of many other games that can pull off looking like this on the Nintendo 64, right?
No, agreed. This did actually do really well. My best score I gave it was for visuals because I was genuinely impressed of what was being pulled off on screen.
No, I get it. I like the clean sci-fi aesthetic. It's in the future of 2023, and they tried to make it look much more futuristic than what 2023 turned out to be. Flying cars, flying taxis, just skylines filled with lights and cables and big buildings. Think Blade Runner, right?
Yes, it was inspired. There was got to be a degree of Blade Runner inspiration in this game.
Of course. I'm not surprised. This is good. It's clearly it's wearing its inspirations on its sleeve, and it makes it so much better. I'm saying better than GoldenEye.
I think so too. I think this was a better visual experience than GoldenEye.
Yes.
And there's a few little things in this, like blood. Do you know that was a big thing? Blood being left on the floor when you killed someone, right? That was actually a big thing. You had to render that in after a body died, and most games didn't do that because why would you use all the processing and the RAM to render in blood? This leaves blood on the floor, and you can shoot the guns out of their hands, and there's a laptop gun, which is just so stupid, but great at the same time. There was
you're a secret spy. You're a spy agent. You're gonna need things like this.
There was even, I noticed, just because I was doing the research and I was playing the game, later on in the first mission or the second mission, you have to break into a vault, right?
Yeah.
Inside the vault is a BAFTA award. Inside the vault that you have to steal the things from. Which, again, is so good. I love it when they put
come on.
things like
Games
that.
don't do that anymore.
I know. That's what sucks. Even
it
light
does.
glare. This game had light glare when the spotlights were looking at your face. It was very small, but the lights themselves like blurred out and impaired your vision a bit.
It's another one of those tiny things. That's good. That's great.
And did you know there was actually a bit of controversy to this game because this game greenlit the production and kind of gave the people the go ahead to do what they want, but their ambitions got a bit away of themselves, right? They kind of went too hard, too much. And one thing they wanted to do was in the multiplayer, they wanted to be able for you to be able to put your faces on the characters themselves, right? Which is very kind of like a common thing to kind of do today, but this is back in 2000 where we didn't have this technology. So they actually built in the ability to connect it to the Game Boy camera accessory that you used to get with the Game Boy. This really old camera. It was horrible and had a printer and stuff that came. And you could take a photo of yourself with it, transfer it in a pack over to the game, and then put that on like a head, like a molded head that you put your picture on. But, which is very cool, but in 2000 they had to ban it because schools weren't ready for that level of immersion. Or not schools, people, sorry, weren't ready for that level of immersion of being able to shoot your friend or your buddy
I see,
or your coworker.
To shoot your friends in the face. Albeit digitally, you could still do this that you weren't able to even think about doing before.
See how far we've now come where I definitely want to shoot my friend in the face. Bring him friends, everyone on it. But it's so crazy they had to drop that whole thing because like the standard of entertainment and stuff is just no. Okay, we can't go shooting our friends, that look like our friends in a multiplayer map as a super agent. That's just too much. People would just think that's real life. So there was again, it was kind of an era where there were some pretty nasty school shootings, which I'm told played a big factor in it too. But it is crazy to think that they put all that time into what can only be quite a lot of programming and stuff, and then to be told, sorry, no, humanity's not ready for that level of technology yet.
How must that feel like?
Russians. It must be sad,
what must that
right?
feel like? I wouldn't think sad, but you make this thing, and you realize humanity isn't ready for this. To realize that what you've just made is so far ahead of the curve, you can't release it.
Isn't that? Yeah, I bet that must happen quite a lot. Like I know the movie. I instantly just thought of Oppenheimer. Like when you thought you was doing science.
Exactly. We are comparing Perfect Dog.
It should be. Oh yes, it should be up there with Oppenheimer. It should be up there with all the big ones because this gives you things to think about. But on the other side, this game does a lot. The bad guys run, they duck, they roll, they side shoot, they have dying animations.
If you shoot them in their shoulder, they react as if being shot in the shoulder.
Yeah, I know it's kind of funny and weird to suggest that this is so cool. Look, the physics. There's physics in this game because all games now have physics fundamentally to them.
Yeah.
But this was big. GoldenEye didn't have that. They died in spot and they did move. This actually had more dynamic dying and visual scenes of the bad guys moving and stuff like that than GoldenEye did.
Which is exactly why I keep saying that this is the better game than GoldenEye, which makes sense because Rare iterated on GoldenEye. They took what they learned from GoldenEye to make a better game.
Yeah, they literally used the same engine, I believe. They used the same one that they, of course, did very well with GoldenEye and built upon it to do the visuals of this game. But yeah, this game, visuals, I thought it was great. Even the cinematography bits were kind of cool. They were cheesy. They were like 80s movies vibes. The camera angles, the stopping behind shelter to put your finger in your ear and say that again, and oh no, it's you can't go that way, and it's all so.
And the
good.
guard looking in the elevator, and then snap. Joanna drops down from the ceiling of the elevator, but you can't see that. That's good.
No, but I do like the dopey guards. The dopey guards is such a 90s game thing as well. Like, what?
Yeah.
I thought I saw something over here. They are. It's great.
In the wind.
Anything else visually?
No. Let's go to audio.
Audio man, your favorite bit.
I think this is probably the one segment where GoldenEye takes it.
Yes, I agreed. I do agree.
And it's not that far-fetched, really, because GoldenEye's music has, I think, entered the Hall of Fame at this point.
Yes, I was about to say, you've got all those very famous songs that they do have in the game, the James Bond themes, fundamentally, right? Which it's hard to beat. That's a hard one for Perfect Dark to try and come in there and kind of knock down, by all accounts. But I thought
it is
okay. You're the music person. What's the music like in this game? Did you like it? Was there some?
I did like it. Whereas the music for GoldenEye can be very much summed up as music made for movies, as there was already a ton of 007 movies before GoldenEye.
Oh yeah, definitely.
In this case, the soundtrack was made for a video game, right? you get an atmospheric soundtrack that would lean into tension rather than melody.
Yes, okay, I agreed. Yeah,
So,
I get what you mean.
all the James Bond movies would have a melody. You can immediately recognize the James Bond melody.
Yes, of course.
Any of them, really. Here, it's almost like they're focused on ambience. Excuse me?
I want to put you on the spot now. Like, oh, go on, Nick. Everybody knows the James Bonds. Give me two. The two famous ones.
What is it, Nick? Huh?
Yeah, come on. Everyone knows them.
Dave, do you want to get copyright struck right now?
Oh, it's true. You would duplicate the song so well, we'd get copyright strike almost indefinitely.
Yeah, so I can't do it. I'm sorry.
That was a good dodge. That's a good dodge. That was damn it. You got me on that. So you were saying, the melodies and stuff like that.
Besides that, I think the weapon sounds fine.
Yeah.
There were some weapons that sounded. Yeah.
Some of the weapons were exactly identical to the GoldenEye guns. They were literally the same noises, which is fine because they were fundamentally the same guns to some degree. So
yeah, I mean,
it is what it is.
Do we care? Do we mind?
No. Again, it made me smile hearing the same James Bond gun noises again, like the nostalgia.
That silencer pistol.
Yes, exactly. The silenced pistol and just like the dual Beretta type sound effects. There was some again. I'll put my hands up. I think the nostalgia and just the whimsy of this game took me on a ride. I think I enjoyed a bit. I think it's maybe a bit too much. I loved the dialogue. The dialogue is so bad.
Yeah.
So bad, but so good at the same time.
There is something.
It's so ridiculous.
There is something about early video game dialogue.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. And the greatest thing about this game is that none of the voice actors were kind of even voice actors. They did like noises and Banjo-Kazooie and Donkey Kong, and you can feel it. You can feel it in the voice acting in this. Oh, it is so. It's so like Uncle. Do like a foreign German voice for me. Yeah. It's so bad. It's like they did it in their car, and it's so good because of that. I loved it so much.
It's exactly what I want. I want this to come back.
Agreed.
I want this to come back.
Yes.
These overproduced sound booth voice actor schlock is very highly produced, very high quality, but come on. I can get 30 sentences for one good sentence.
True. And
I'm not trying to say I want quantity over quality, but yeah, I'd like some garbage with my caviar, please.
Yeah, exactly. That you could hear that none of these people are in the same room. None of them have heard the other voice actors do their bit. This is read off a page, and then you go, "Oh no, I didn't know that was." It's so good. It's so bad, but it's so good bad. I loved it. There's even one bit where you are the greatest secret agent ever, and you go into a room, and you're like, she says verbatim, "I can't throw a bomb that high." Because she couldn't. She was on the bottom floor. But for a narrative like plot point, just so you know, she can't throw a bomb that high. She's not trained in the speciality that is throwing bombs high. And I did like that when you shoot some of the bad guys, they just go, "Why me? Why do I have to die?" Which is just so almost sad. But it's such a cool little bits to chuck in there that just again weirdly make you smile instead of feel sadness for them.
There's something about 90s writing.
It really is. It really is. I loved. I love this. There was a bit where you have to go and like stop the scientists, and you go, "Scientists, shut down this now." And she says, "I'll shut down." Oh, sorry, he says, "I'll shut down the experiments. I'll shut them down now." And then he goes, "My experiments." It was so dumb, but it was so genius. Yeah. Like the idea that he went, afterwards. This is good. This is really great. It's like those craft cheese slices that's I think only 10% cheese and 90% other stuff. Yeah, just plastic. It's like that. Sometimes, like that. I would like a cheese plate with some Gouda, some feta. Some good cheese. Yeah.
Sometimes, just give me craft.
That's very true. You want
Give
it on
me
your
the
burgers,
junk food
you want it on certain
I
things.
so
you want,
desire.
That is very true. And this just hits those notes so well on the audio.
It really does.
But yeah, I just had a great time audio-wise. It's good, bad.
Same.
It just ticks that good, bad. Granted, I do like the idea that the composer was the same composer for GoldenEye, Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong. You know, I always like the story that they keep the same in-house composers and stuff like that, so they've actually, you know, they get to work and grow as a company all together. Even though, sadly, Rare's gone now, isn't it, as a company? Didn't they get absorbed or they
did. I think it's one of those sad cases where it didn't go out with a bomb, but with a whimper.
Yeah, it is always sad seeing that, especially as you get older, all the beloved game video development
Rare
studios
just kind of
you know.
dissipated, and they made so many influential classics.
Yeah, and like memories for so many kids who are now adults and grown up now. It is. That's
like saying in 20 years there's not going to be a Capcom.
Yeah, it's true.
Capcom's just kind of going to slowly die out.
Well, yes, and everything's going to be Tencent. which could be true, right? Everything's that's a bit dystopian.
Let's not go down that route.
Okay, gameplay then. Unless you've got more audio, sorry.
No.
Gameplay. What did you think of the gameplay? This classic N64 gameplay.
I think the gameplay, and this could become probably the biggest segment in this entire episode, but I think the gameplay is taking a massive leap in complexity over GoldenEye.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. The gameplay in this is better.
I wouldn't say I enjoyed.
Oh. Wow. It's a leap, but I didn't enjoy it. I didn't have a good time with this game.
I mean, it's much. The gameplay is deeper, it's more complex, but
it is.
I wouldn't say I enjoyed GoldenEye either.
Wow, and he says this is recorded. He recorded saying you didn't enjoy this. You didn't enjoy GoldenEye. Like what?
Remember, no, ladies and gents, I said earlier as well, this game did not age well. New audiences are not gonna find this game as fun as people did back then. I'm sticking to my guns.
That's so true. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to think how old you are. I'm just working out how old you are in my head, and I'm trying to think how many. Are you a first-person shooter fan fundamentally? No, I know you played.
There was a time where I was. There was a time where I was, and I mean, if the game's good enough, sure, I'll play it.
Yeah, and in the 90s, first-person shooters were big because they were kind of easier to make because you just had a mouse and pointed forwards.
I mean, you had your Doom, right? Your Quake, your Half-Life,
your Dark Forces, your Wolfenstein.
Exactly.
Yep, Spears of Destiny. So yeah, I've got a big history of playing really bad, crappy first-person shooters. So I guess I can see where.
What did you call this?
Oh, bad and crappy. This is the future of bad, crappy. This is peak, as they say. This is bad. Don't get me wrong. This is insane, but it's great. It's good, bad. It's like,
somehow I know exactly what you mean.
Exactly. It is. It's a purely polished turd, and it's a thing of beauty. It is just.
Damn it! You're right.
I know I am. But like, first of all, you got to take into account this game multiplayer, split screen, which I'll give you. GoldenEye had too. I think it had split screen. I know it certainly, of course, had
yes, it did. It did.
So everybody loved that, especially back in the day when you got two players and stuff like that. This has dual wielding pistols and guns, which instantly makes it better than like 90% of any other game, because who doesn't want to dual wield? It's again, I liked it so much. Even just like the stupid list of objectives you get at the beginning of the game, and then you go up and when you do them, you can see they spell it wrong in the bottom left-hand corner when they tell you that congratulations, you downloaded the satellite plans, and they spelt satellite wrong. And that's just a plus. I was like,
it is.
Brilliant.
It is.
Who cares, right?
But I mean, that's exactly what I was trying to convey earlier. This overproduced stuff is good. It's quality, but at a certain point, it doesn't feel like it was made by humans anymore. If I find a spelling mistake in my objectives, that just affirms to me this was made by people. People like me,
true.
people like you.
That's true.
They made this. And that makes me feel like this is art much more than the game that was made by 2,000 people.
That's true. I get what you're saying. That's one of those deep cuts in today's gaming sphere and stuff like that. In regards to everything that we get now. I agree. It feels man-made, right? And it's kind of like artisanal, for lack of a better way.
And it's endearing.
Has flaws. Yeah, exactly. I do agree. Even the AI in this was actually kind of revolutionary because it was one of the first times that enemies would flank you. They actually wrote, granted, GoldenEye had some fairly decent, but this game they actually coded the ability for someone to go right behind you and through all the doors to flank you. It's not the hardest, because they don't do it subtly in any regards. They open the door and go, it's you! Like, you hear it 4 minutes before it actually happens. But it was pinnacle. It really was a more advanced version of GoldenEye, which is, again, super sad with thinking how semi-popular it is. It's got a cult following by all accounts, and it did do okay sales-wise, but not GoldenEye numbers.
The same thing happened 10 years later. There was one game that almost completely reinvented a genre.
Yeah.
And then the same company made a sequel or a spiritual successor.
Okay.
And people are treating that one as if it's the bee's knees.
God, you always do this, and I start going to the repository of all the games I know, and I'm like, what the fuck? What's he talking about?
It's okay. It's switched around with this one. In this case, GoldenEye came first, Perfect Dark came second, and Perfect Dark is in GoldenEye's shadow consistently. 10 years later, in 2008, From Software released Demon Souls, which was the first game of its kind. And then 3 years later, From Software released Dark Souls. And people are treating Dark Souls like it was the first one of its kind. Demon Souls was the first one, but Demon Souls is consistently living in the shadow of Dark Souls.
No, it's very weird that. It is very weird that.
Perfect Dark and Demon Souls should be more widely acclaimed than they are.
Weird question, sorry, because I've never actually... Are they the same universe or not? Like, is Demon Souls the same universe as Dark Souls? Like, I know that...
No, not at all.
Are they not? Oh, that's sad.
No, they're not.
They tie them together some way.
I mean...
But no, you agreed.
Dark Souls games are... in the same universe, kind of like hardly, but they are. But no, Demon Souls isn't.
How about Bloodborne? Out of curiosity, now you've put the string on it. I'm like,
Hidetaka Miyazaki is kind of like Meryl Streep in the way that they really don't like making sequels.
Wow, that was a great I don't think anyone's ever compared him to Meryl Streep before. Well done.
Compared Hidetaka Miyazaki to Meryl
Streep. Yeah, I think that's a first. That's a first for anyone's podcast or YouTube. Well done. But
besides,
no, I got you. I understand.
Besides Dark Souls and Armored Core, he's really not done any sequels.
Oh wow! Come on, do more. Jeez, God, these game creators. He's not doing enough. I want 17 Dark Souls every year. They just do more. But yeah, gameplay. What? Okay, did it not hit with you because it's old and it's kind of got janky shooting and it was kind of designed for that N64 controller? So it's
I don't think I've
weird,
ever played a game more janky than this. This was at the forefront of first-person shooters on console.
Yes, it was. And with the single analog stick to aim with. Like, you didn't have two, you only had the single one, right?
And that leads me to my next revelation. Because I did some research on that and I found something that this game does. And I don't know if you know that it does this.
I'm excited. Go on. What may or may
this
I not...
This game, for the single-player campaign, can utilize a controller input called dual controllers. Do you know what that is?
No, go on.
So, this game, as well as GoldenEye, you can, in the N64, plug in two controllers, pick the dual controller layout, and then, in either hand, you have a controller.
Jeez, those are big controllers.
Those are big controllers, but you can hold them in the middle so that each thumb can have an analog stick.
Yeah.
And both of those controllers you now control
Okay.
Joanna Dark with.
I'm sorry, but that's freaking cool.
Isn't
I'm not
it?
gonna lie. That's cool as all hell. Like
Isn't
the idea
it?
of just
So-
being in your living room with the two controllers in your hand, just with the analog sticks going, yeah, I'm Joanna Dark right now.
Yeah,
That's
but I
cool
mean,
as hell. I didn't know that.
this was paving the way.
That is super
This was
cool.
paving the way for modern FPS controls.
That's very true, yeah.
It was just
That's so cool,
unfortunate
isn't it?
that the hardware limitation at the time was on the N64's dumbass controller.
Yeah, that's true. That's
So
crazy.
Rare
I kinda wanna
thought,
do
oh,
that
how
now.
can we actually innovate? Actually innovate.
Yeah,
You plug
that's
in
what I
two
mean.
controllers. The one controls movement, the one controls looking around, and you one in each. It's really cool.
That is actually super. If you think, like I said, these Rare at that time were given so much room to grow as ideas and stuff. IB the Game Boy camera for putting the dual controllers for two different axes of movement.
Yeah.
God, that like you said, that is state of the art in 2000s.
Exactly.
Granted,
Exactly.
when did the PlayStation 1 come out?
The PlayStation
no,
1? What do you mean? That was 96, 95?
Well, that had the two analog sticks. That was the first.
Eventually, the first PlayStation controller didn't.
Did it not? Why
No,
do I
the first
only have-
PlayStation controller was just the D-pad and the face buttons. I think after a year they released the controller with the two analog sticks.
Oh, I see it now. Yeah, you're right. I can see it. I remember that controller now. I look at it.
Yeah.
Again, that's so cool.
But
how do people not
the
know this?
I read up the first FPS game to utilize modern controls, strafing on the one analog and looking around on the other analog was, was it Aliens something?
There
It
are
was
a few
Aliens. It was
games,
a
but
movie
okay.
tie-in game, Aliens Resurrection or something.
Yeah, there's a few. I think I remember the one you're talking about because I
Yeah,
think
and
it was
that got
also an
released
arcade game.
October 2000, after Perfect Dark.
That's crazy. Did they get all the accolades and stuff as well? Like, did they actually get like, oh yeah, we were the first?
Yes, I think they're lauded as the first game to utilize
so
modern
mean.
FPS controls. It is mean.
But it's-
It is mean, but it makes complete sense because the N64 controller doesn't have dual analogs. It
Yes,
doesn't.
but it's such a crazy thing that depending on when you release your game or how and when and all the other things and what's being released at the same time, you can literally do something like amazing and just no one sees it. Like,
Yep.
trying to think of other games that
Yes.
do. Like you said, Demon's Souls. Demon's Souls got very little recognition back in the day when it released. People just said, "Yeah, that's hard. It's a hard game." That's about it. That's all people talked about. It was it's a tough game.
Yeah,
it was an elitist
but it did
game.
well enough for people to give
Yeah.
Hidetaka Miyazaki another chance. And
Yes,
with this
yes, exactly.
other chance, that's when he hit it out of the park. And that's what
Isn't that
should have
crazy?
happened with Perfect Dark.
Yes, agreed. This game, I see why that people were passionate to try and bring back this game for the latest generation
Yeah.
of consoles, right? Because I can
Same.
see the love for it, and in theory, the IP itself, you could have gone really well with most things, like sci-fi shooters. Who doesn't want to play a bit of a sci-fi shooter? So, tongue twister. And okay, anything else gameplay-wise you found out?
Yeah, I've got one more thing. With all of the things I just said, the gameplay is more complex. Rare really innovated with this game. They've done a lot more with gadgets in this game and all of these things that I've got a hot take that I think really is a hot take that not a lot of people are gonna agree with. I
Go on.
think Perfect Dark proved that more advanced doesn't automatically mean more fun.
Yes, okay, I can see that. In regards to even today now with like VR things, right? It's more advanced, but most people, there's nobody who's going over to VR technology because there's a great game out there. It's just kind of
Nobody's-
cool. And
Yeah, I don't think back in the day anybody kind of said, "Ooh, this isn't advanced enough. This isn't
yes,
innovating."
no, I got you.
But-
No, I agree.
But I can totally see a lot of people saying, even now, that yes, this is advanced, but that doesn't automatically mean it's more fun. And there's still a lot
Yes,
of people today that kind of get stuck in that trap.
Yeah, but and it's the same thing, like you said. GoldenEye had such like a oh, me and the boys played a cool map last night, or did you see the speed run for this level, or did you see that they got cool voice actors and it's the original dialogue from Pierce Brosnan and stuff like that, which amps up like the excitement and the enjoyment you have. But like you said, Perfect Dark's probably the better, more complete, more advanced game, but less fun because it doesn't have all the cool things that I nostalgically get to connect to and use a laser on my watch just like James Bond did, which was still to this day a very cool thing to have in a game. I think you're
right. I think you're very, very right.
Anything else gameplay? I just like ending on that point because I always love people telling me I'm very, very right. That's it. That's it. That's the end of the show.
Let's go on to performance.
You always seem to have a worse performance than me, except for this time. You gave this a fairly standard, I guess, a Nintendo 64 performance rating. Did you not have any problems with it, or did you have something steep or bad?
I don't know if it's problems or if that is just the standard Perfect Dark N64 experience. I don't know. I did have some.
Go on.
Super frame rate drops.
Yeah, this game was kind of famous for it, like having actual stupid, like super droppy frames, like all like slow. There was a few other weird things for me, and I don't know if it's just because, again, I brought this up before, I'm kind of impatient. There was one bit where you have to escort the guy or the suit in the office to get to an elevator. And he walked around, and we walked around, and then he stopped in front of a pane of glass, and I was like, okay, is this bugging out? Why is he not doing it? And I swear, 6 minutes later, the elevator came up. I was sat there. I almost killed him. I almost killed him, thinking, oh, maybe I'm supposed to shoot this guy. Now, granted, not really a performance issue. Another thing I had is I sometimes couldn't differentiate between doors and just walls. I was like, is that a door? Like, it looks like a wall. There's no handle to it. But no, that was a door.
I
struggled
to see what I could interact with and what was just
true.
set dressing. True.
Yeah, like the computers or like the wall panel and stuff like that. Yeah, they do not stand out in the slightest. You just have to go to everywhere and look at everything.
Yes, there are identical computers.
Some
you need to hack for the password, and some are just there.
Yeah, there's no hand holding in this game, which, again, being as old as I am, is both cool and frustrating, because back in the day, everybody was stuck on a game because they didn't know where to go, because it was just a maze, and then you didn't find the button. And this had that same bit where you're like, which computer am I supposed to scan? I've gone to like all of them, and then, I'm supposed to use the special scanning device that no one told me about that's in my inventory. But yeah, just massive frame rate drops performance-wise, that's all that really got me. Especially if you're like spinning around very quickly because someone's behind you or something like that. But it's an N64 game, so that's part and parcel of the beast
I think there was still, even though the performance isn't great, especially with the frame rate, this was one of the earliest console shooters. I think we can give it some slack.
Yeah, agreed. Again, if you're picking up an N64 to play Perfect Dark, then you're doing it for some nostalgia, not for like peak FPS shooting fun, right? No one's picking it up for that. Anything else performance-wise, or should we go value for money?
Okay, value for money. What do you think
value for money-wise? Yeah.
I think that if you picked up Perfect Dark for your N64 and you got some controllers, hell yeah. Oh yeah, you've got a campaign, you've got a nice single player campaign, and you've got multiplayer.
Yeah, right. If you've got enough friends and enough controllers and enough. Like nowadays, if you've got the
friends, sure.
We're gamers, of course. We don't have friends. We got Lord 6946421, who's my best friend on server 6.
Yep. But I think that's where the value for the money for this game comes in.
Yes, I think you're absolutely right. I think in the era this game was, again, there was a ton of value for money. Play with your friends, the dual screen aspect of it, it is 3 to 5 hours long, depending on how quickly you find all those computers that you don't know if they're the right ones or not.
Yeah.
Which is standard. like GoldenEye is not a super long game by all accounts. If you play through the campaign, it hasn't actually got that much meat to it. I was shocked to find you can get this game on Game Pass if that's what you've got. So you can actually download this onto your PC now and play it. Or
yeah,
Game
but the
Pass
remake, right?
Yes, the one that got released for the 360. Yeah, the with better textures and stuff like that by all accounts. And it's actually, believe it or not a hard game to find physically. It's $25, which is basically your standard price for like an old N64 game. Yeah. It actually got printed a lot. They did do quite a lot of sales, but they expected to do tons of sales due to the GoldenEye popularity. So this isn't actually a hard game to find. This, if you want to buy a physical copy or want this in your collection, $25 gets you it, and it is actually really out there. You can find it everywhere, which is kind of
good.
Cool.
That's great. That's great. If you've got an N64, think about picking this up. Really.
Oh, definitely. I would. It's and it is in people's top 100 game lists and stuff like that. People really do enjoy this game.
Oh yeah.
And Nintendo Magazine put it in their top like 25 of the older console games or whatever the lists are. There's 1,000 of them now. It is worth it. I think this has got a good level of value for money. It's full of cheese. It's full of just like nonsense. The gameplay is nuts. The aliens. It's X. If you like X-Files, you're gonna love this game. I think it really does go a long way.
It does. I just wish history gave it the respect it deserves.
Yeah, agreed. And I'm a testament for that. I'd heard of the game, never played it. And I was in that era. I was the first person shooter. I had the friends who used to play these games. We played GoldenEye. We played Pokemon.
Yeah.
Never picked this up, which is very strange because it is probably one of the best games you can get for the N64 console. It really is very good.
Totally imagine it. Really, really. But I mean, it had all the perfect ingredients,
right,
to become that legendary game. And I think it just didn't become that because of Rare's previous game, GoldenEye.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things. I was playing this and I never actually looked it up. When did Tomb Raider come out? Because this could have been the very first Tomb Raider, like the 2001. So this game came out before Tomb Raider. This had every right to be the next Lara Croft. Yeah. Old Joanna Dark, right? Sexy, hot, super agent thing. She had every possibility to become Lara Croft.
What do you mean? The first Tomb Raider game?
When did I'm just looking at Wiki, which we all know Wiki isn't particularly the greatest. 2001. It's
1996.
1996. Jeez, I'm old.
Why the first Tomb Raider. 1996.
There's like 400 Tomb Raiders. What the like?
That's true. There are. Thankfully.
Okay. Is it 1996? Like I said, okay, you'd have thought. I guess Tomb Raider took all the female protagonists.
Tomb Raider predates Final Fantasy VII.
Does it really? God, I'm old.
Yeah.
I remember playing around my friend's house. We used to play the first level of Tomb Raider again and again and again, just because you're kids and that's what you do.
Oh yeah.
I can't believe that's that old. It makes me feel older.
Yeah.
But it's a shame she didn't get some of the Tomb Raider spotlight then, because she had every right to be like just this female James Bond badass.
She completely deserves it. Okay.
But by all means, you should go pick it up. It's a good steal. Everyone should play this game, by all accounts. What did we score this in the end, then, by all accounts? Through our lengthy scoring process.
Our scores for Perfect Dark. All came to work, got into the lab, and ran their experiments. Each going about their business. They were all in the same lab, not necessarily working on the same experiments, but experiments nonetheless. Until one experiment exploded into the alien species named Cousin Skeeter, which is what I'm sticking with, Cousin Skeeter, and killed all of our scientists' scores, except for one. They let one live to tell the story, and his name was the letter grade rating of B-,
which is fair. It is fair.
I guess. I think this deserves a slight bit better. B, maybe.
You keep saying Cousin Skeeter, and I'm thinking, I know that from something. What the hell is Cousin? Are you referencing the 1998 sitcom?
I absolutely am.
Oh, no, you are.
I am referencing the goat, Cousin Skeeter.
Oh, so you do know it, because I just thought maybe you were just ranting.
Of course I know Cousin Skeeter.
When were you born? It released in 1998.
Sometimes I was not one. Sure.
Yeah, like, I love the idea that all the way down in, like, South Africa, Cousin Skeeter was what was on TV when you were a kid, which was like, granted, you know, you'd only just gotten off your elephants and lions and just developed TV by then. That's a crazy pull. I can't believe. So you were doing it intentionally. Congrats. I was like, I know that name. Why does he keep saying Cousin Skeeter? What do I know that from?
Does he know who Cousin Skeeter is?
Yes, I was like, how does he know who Cousin Skeeter is? Is he older than he's telling me? Yeah, well, a B- is fair. It's the same, strangely enough, as the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 remake we gave, and Digimon Story Time Stranger. I always call it Story Time Stranger. I think it's Digimon's... Yeah, Story Time to me, just it's story. Digimon Story Time Stranger. Time Stranger. Right? It's supposed to, yeah. Okay. And it got Signalis, Gears of War Reloaded, same score. It really is one of those games you should play.
Okay, right? That's good company. That's good company.
It really is.
That's good
company.
It really is. Yeah. But yeah, you know what? Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Critical Arcade Podcast. Please subscribe, please like, please share. If you know anyone who would enjoy the show, please share the show. Preach the gospel of Critical Arcade. We'd be very, very thankful.
Yeah,
subscribe to us on YouTube.
Send it to people who wouldn't enjoy this show. It's just, if you want to be kind of mean, just send that to them too. Make them listen to it. We're all down. Who knows? That's right. Do what you do best. But yeah, please click like, share, follow, whatever the other things that social media.
Speaking of follow, Dave, where can we follow you?
Well, you can find me out and about, but if you were to follow me playing this game, I was playing Joanna Dark, and I was meeting Elvis, the grey alien, and I was just like, no, these people aren't the people I'm on the side of. I was more aligned with Cousin Skeeter, or Skadar, the alien race that all of hijacked our society and our governments, and they're all real. And I happen to know this. I happen to know them very well. They've been around for very many times. And I will successfully get you teleported off this planet into one of their spaceships, and you will be dissected for some sort of strange reptilian human hybrid treadmill. There you go. You're going to be turned into a human hybrid treadmill for their exercising needs. And that's about it.
I was completely expecting you to say probed, but no, you said dissected.
Dissected, they're probed is too cliche. And there's some people out there who want to be probed by an alien. I don't want to give them the good time, right? They don't want to have a good time on aliens. So yeah, follow me, and at your own wrath, you may be dissected by reptilian master race.
Yeah. Don't follow Dave. Best advice. Don't follow Dave. Rather, Dave, enlighten us. What have we got lined up for next week?
Well, next week's game is a reimagining, as I'm pretty sure it's called. We get to hopefully get our hands on Dragon Quest 7, which again I'm lost in how many Dragon Quests there are. It's a remastered version of Dragon Quest 7, which again I love. I wish I could tell you which one that is, and of all the remakes that exist. But I know it's making big news because it's got a weird, big-headed, well graphically rendered things. And I know a lot of people don't like that. And it is creepy. I do agree.
It is creepy. Do you think they picked 7 at random?
No, it's got to be something to do with sales or nostalgia. Yeah, they can't have. They must have numbers that we don't know about, and 7 was just like it just hits different or did really well. But yeah, it's a weird one. I'm a big Dragon Quest fan, but this one looks strange, and a lot of people are questioning how it looks. But I hear it here first to really understand if this game's good and if it looks weird and if the big heads are a good thing or not. We'll be the first to tell you.
How about you tune in next week and find out? We'll see you then. Cheers.
Cheers.